Welcome to Indian News. Our guest today is Sneh Jaisingh. She is the director of Hindi Manch and also founder of NutriAge. She will be honored on March 8 at Women of the Year Awards Gala at Burlington Marriott. We are going to talk to her journey today.
I'm really motivated to see the people that, are around me thrive and really live a fulfilling life. I'm one of the directors of Hindi Manch. Hindi Manch is an organization. The core mission of Hindi Manch is twofold. One is to unite people who love the language Hindi in a more creative platform. And the other one is to foster the love for the language of Hindi in the younger generations. NutriAge is something that I, use all the skills that I've developed in my professional world, being a dietitian, being a health and wellness coach, cognitive behavior therapist, and I help my clients build a healthier lifestyle through just behavior changes and eating a healthier diet. I think that there is a lot of awareness in seeing women as a counterpart, and really men have been doing a great job in fostering that and acknowledging women and seeing them beyond the four corners of their wall, of their home.
Sneh, welcome to our studio.
Thank you so much, Upendraji.
Excellent, and we are looking forward to honoring you at the event.
I am so excited.
This will be the second time.
This is my second time.
Excellent.
I'm equally excited this time.
Excellent. So today we're going to talk about you as a director of Hindi Manch and NutriAge, which we had already talked about that many years ago.
Correct.
But before we come to the Hindi Manch and NutriAge, first we want to know about who is Sneh Jaisingh.
Wow, that's a great question.
So where should we start?
Where should we start?
Okay, here I have an idea.
Yes.
So after camera,
we
were talking about The Alchemist. That is also one of my favorite books.
Okay.
And that is also one of your favorite
Mine
books
too,
as
yes,
well.
always, yes.
So what do you think of the main character there? Santiago, I think, is the name of the character.
Yeah.
What did you really like about Alchemist?
I think that what I liked about was that just an ordinary guy, right? Had no idea, no clue about life, but he was a dreamer, and that's what I resonate with the character. That I'm a dreamer, and faith and love, all of that came to me through that book. As I read that book multiple times, and every time I read that book, something new opens up for me. But the base of that is just, for me, is this universe, right? Universe has your back. You just keep dreaming and be fearless. Just actually, if you're dreaming something, then you need to at least make an effort to fulfill those desires and dreams. And that's where I lean on to universe. And that's what I think that I got out of that book. That, just universe has your back and things will manifest for itself.
So it seems that universe has been very kind to you.
It has been, yes.
Now, you mentioned love and faith.
Yes.
And again, you were telling us on the camera that how you were engaged before getting married to Ajay.
Yeah.
And so just those of our viewers and readers which may not be really familiar with this true love story.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If you can get some glimpse into that.
Sure. So Ajay and I, our parents, we were neighbors back in India, and we grew up together. We went to kindergarten together, and we teased that, we've been diaper buddies or, going. So that's how our friendship grew. I come from a family of doctors. So, when you grow up in a household where they're just talking about medical world, I always imagine my life to just follow what my mom lived or things like that. So in that pursuit, I got engaged to an orthopedic surgeon who is a good friend of mine now. So it was an arranged situation. During that phase, we were both too new to this whole idea of being married and settling with each other and living a life or creating a life together. It was very new to both of us. And I think we were in a different phase of our life. And I would lean on to Ajay because he was my friend and, asking him, what does a guy, what is he trying to talk or understand a guy's perspective? And during that journey, slowly I realized that Ajay is someone who knows me so well that he can even understand from the expressions of how I'm looking at things, and he just knows me really well. And I think that was the turning point of my life, where I realized that if I have to build a life and live a life, I would want to be living with someone who I genuinely love and who knows me, who understands me, and I can trust.
So how did
that
you?
was the shift of my life.
So how did you gather that courage to break the engagement?
So I think that for me, friendship has always been the foundation. So even with the gentleman that I was engaged to, I think we both realized that even though we respected each other and just amazing human beings, but at the wrong time of our life, we both wanted different things. He was still settling in his field, so I think we had a very candid discussion about how we are not seeing ourselves being compatible as future husband and wife. So we did that discussion, and I was probably back in those days, a girl, and especially being the eldest in the family, making a decision of calling off a relationship. It was quite
Must be quite
experience,
dramatic
yes.
in
But I've
India.
been very lucky to have my parents who, and my family, extended family, they could see that if you're not happy in a relationship, it's not for you. So they supported me wholeheartedly, and it was not as dramatic. It was a very mutual thing where we decided that let's just move on from this, and let's you know um, explore our lives. Let's learn a little bit about what we want in our life, and then think of actually settling in any relationship.
Sure. So now, marriage can be very complicated,
Yes.
especially in the Indian context. Now also the love marriage has become quite common in
Yeah,
India, but it's
yeah.
still, many people of our generation, they had an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
You have a love marriage.
Mhm.
So if I ask you, what are a couple of secrets of a successful marriage? Talk about a little bit about the institution of marriage.
Institution of marriage. You're very right. When you actually get married to an individual, it starts with just two individuals who either fall in love or they've been arranged to get married. But soon you're married to the entire family, right? It's an institution. And to adjust into a new role with each other as husband and wife is quite a dynamic, quite a process. What has been the secret of my married life is friendship. Ajay and I, we have tried. There have been, bumps in our journey, as many of us go through. But what has really worked well for us is just the friendship of being beyond husband and wife, being honest to each other, encouraging each other for their own self journeys and their passions, versus just holding each other back. Because when we have these titles as husband and wife, there are these underlying expectations that come along with those titles. So we try to not, keep those expectations that because you're my husband, you are supposed to do this, and because I'm the wife, I'm supposed to do that. So we play different roles for each other, just because we want to do it versus we have to do it. So that is the foundation of our friendship.
Friendship, yeah, that's
Yes.
very important.
Yeah.
Sure. If you look at the marriage from the friendship point of view,
Yes,
that's a fantastic.
absolutely. Yeah.
So now, since you mentioned Ajay, your husband,
Mhm.
I have seen him in the Hindi Manch plays,
Yes.
and he's a very good actor.
Thank you.
And so you are also a director at Hindi Manch.
Yes.
So how did you get involved with Hindi Manch? It was through Ajay, or how? Tell us
Yeah, it
about
was
your journey to Hindi
Very,
Manch.
very rightly said that Hindi Manch was an accidental discovery for me, and Ajay was invited to be one of the he invited to be part of a play in 2011 actually, and that's how we got introduced to Hindi Manch. And I used to go there with him to watch the practices, and our kid in the car seat. That's how. And what I loved about Hindi Manch was that everybody there was very welcoming, very respectful. So it was just a very nice environment, especially when you're coming from a city like Bombay, where there's so much of chaos and noise and family around. When we came here, there was quite an adjustment. So Hindi Manch just fit right there. It became an extension of my family. Now, as much as Ajay is very creatively talented, I call myself not very creative in that aspect, but I love to be around creative people, that gives me a lot of energy.
Actually, I saw you on the stage during this Begani Sadi play.
Yes, you did.
I had a blast with that
Oh, thank
play.
you
It was
so much.
fantastic. And you guys did a
Yeah,
very
I
good
can
job.
go on and on about Begani and how the inception happened and Pritesh's genius brain and his
Now,
whole...
Pritesh is president of Hindi Manch.
He
and the
is,
founder
yes,
of Hindi
yes,
Manch.
he is. He's the head of our family.
Hmm.
You know, I like to call Hindi Manch as family. It means so much more than just an organization. To me, Ajay, and even our son, you know, he basically grew up in that environment, backstage, in front. He's done emceeing, being part of different things, and he speaks Hindi so amazingly well, Upendra ji, that you know it just swells my heart with pride. You know, I just
And thanks to Hindi Manch.
Thanks to Hindi Manch and also thanks to my in-laws. They would come spend summers with us, and my mother-in-law and father-in-law have taught him Hindi, you know, like basic stuffs of Hindi. So I don't think Ajay and I take credit for that. It is Hindi Manch and my in-laws that who taught him.
Very good. And so you have done, what are some of the roles you have played for the Hindi
So
Manch?
I started in Hindi Manch, I started working as a volunteer, helping backstage because I didn't know, Upendraji, where I could help out. All I wanted to do was I wanted to be there in that environment. And as I said, that environment that, you know, everybody, all the leadership creates is non-judgmental, very loving, very welcoming. So you just have to be eager to just be part of that. And that's how I started. I started as being a backstage volunteer or helping out, you know, in the front end or whatever. And slowly, you know, I realized that I could be a leader. So I think it was again Pritesh and other leaders at that time, you know, Anish, who saw that in me and who said that, you know, I think she can take well more responsibility and then just helping as a volunteer. So slowly I started taking responsibilities, and here I am as one of the directors, and now talking about mentoring the younger generations that is joining us. So it's been quite a journey.
Excellent. And why Hindi Manch? Like, if you can talk about the contribution of Hindi Manch. Yes.
Absolutely. So first of all, Hindi, the language, right? Just we all love the language Hindi. So the mission of Hindi Manch resonated really well with me. That, you know, twofold mission. That first of all, people like us who miss the language and who want to continue to just connect with people, talk in Hindi, and just foster that environment, unite everybody under one roof in a very creative way. So I love that concept so much that, you know, we are doing Sahitya, we are doing Bal Manch, we are doing singing, we are doing theatre. So different creative aspects, but the core essence is Hindi. And the other thing was to teach the next generation who are born here to, you know, just help them stay connected to their roots through language. So now when I see my son, when he goes to India, he connects with all our family members, speaks in Hindi. He, in fact, this time traveled in a local train and he could, you know, he survived. So it was just amazing, the power of the language.
Did he travel by himself?
He did. So we had to go visit a family member and he said, I've heard so much about local trains in Mumbai. I want to travel in local train. I was nervous, but he survived.
I would be nervous too.
Oh my God. I was tracking him all the time, and, you know, Ajay was waiting for him at the station. We dropped him. So there were only few stations that he had to. He missed the station that he was supposed to get off. But he asked in Hindi, and some gentleman guided him how to hop back into a train and take. So the power of language right there, you know, I get goosebumps when I'm talking to you, because this is what Hindi Manch did to us, and it does to so many people. We touch lives. We really make a difference. I think it helps people thrive. You know, one thing is that you live your life, and the other is you live to the fullest. And here, you know, this is what I see in Hindi Manch, and I love that about it. And of course, I love way more. Now it's my family, all the leaders, you know, Pritesh, Anish, Charna, Rakshaji, Ajay Jain, Ajay Jaisingh, like, you know, we all been with Hindi Manch. We all grew together. We are different personalities. Everybody brings in a different talent.
There are some great actors there. It's
great, amazing.
I just love
we've been lucky that
sure.
we've had, you know, great actors. And I'll tell you that, you know, because of them, so much inspiration, Pindraji, that this time I took the plunge of playing a role in the front end, like, you know, being an actor in one of the plays. So it's just like, that's inspiration right there, you know. If I am shy to do something, I would hear a nudge from, you know, either Jarna or Pritesh, Anish. They would be like, no, you can do this. Come on, we have to do this. So Hindi is not my strong suit language-wise. So to MC in Hindi, because Pritesh has certain ground rules that you cannot use English, we were talking in Hindi. So Raksha ji, I emceed with Raksha ji, and she was just amazing.
I remember I saw that.
Yeah, she was helping me with the words and helping me with the expressions. So that's what I love about it, that we all help each other, and it's just beautiful.
Excellent. Now let's talk about your professional life.
Yeah.
I know we have done, we did once an article about your NutriAge, and you were doing some experiment about sugar,
yes.
How that affects health and all. So tell us about NutriAge, and then also some of the other workshops which you have done lately.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to. So my journey, again, like many of us, right, professional journey also has been quite an evolution. I started my career in the field of pathology back in India. I was fascinated to look into that microscope, and fast forward, I realized the power of food as medicine, and I learned about dietetics and nutrition, and I came to the US. I continued to study and worked with nursing homes and things like that. Slowly, I started realizing that even though you prescribe a diet to a patient, a lot of times you're not able to follow through the plan. They know it, that this is important to me. I'm not supposed to be eating all of these stuff, but mind still tells them to do that. And that got me really intrigued to figure out that, to study more about the human mind and say, why are these behaviors that we follow into our own traps of, I don't want to eat sugar, but I still eat sugar. What is it that I'm doing wrong? How do I work through that? How do I change my behavior patterns? So I continue to learn and study and keep evolving. Recent thing that I have learned in the last few years is cognitive behavior therapy. So all of those things, I call them as my toolbox, so I keep collecting all of these skills. And through NutriAge, this is what I offer, more of a holistic and integrative practice where we try to figure out go to the grassroots level of what are the, core ailments that are causing you. Just because you are diabetic, that doesn't mean that you are just supposed to be taking a medicine or have a diabetic diet. It's coming from a root cause. So identifying that, working on those patterns, making some behavior changes that helps you continue to follow and lead a healthier lifestyle. So that's what I do in my practice. Along with that, we have done a lot of workshops with
Indian Health Expo.
So sugar detox, that's what we called that back in the days.
I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So that was, that is just very impressive to understand. There have been studies that show that a human brain, when they consume sugar versus cocaine, and you do an MRI of a brain, the brain that consumed more sugar lights up more than the cocaine. So it's that addictive, sugar. So making small changes as just eliminating simple sources of sugar, like, instead of adding sugar in your tea, trying to have it plain sugar without sugar, just making those small changes, you can see so much difference in your overall well-being. And that has been a very effective experiment that we have done with so many of our community members.
Now, you mentioned cognitive therapy.
Yes.
So, those of us who are not familiar with this, talk about that.
So, basically what happens is, right, that human mind, we are so used to doing things in a habitual form. You wake up in the morning, you want to brush your teeth. You don't set an alarm to brush your teeth. It's just a pattern, as a habit. So how is that habit being formed? So that is how you program your brain into doing certain things. So when you go to see a doctor and a doctor says, your blood work shows a little higher on the cholesterol, or A1C is not looking great, that fear in you that I need to do something about my health is there. You go see a dietitian or you start working on your health. After a while, it slips. You go back to your normal pattern of, indulging into some food that's probably not good for you. So cognitive behavior therapy helps in that format, where you identify why you do what you do and how do you transform and how do you work on those behavior patterns to make them in your favor and create a long, sustainable habit. So that's what we do. So I got myself, in fact, national board certification in health wellness coaching, and under that umbrella, that's what I do. So in my practice of late, I see that I'm playing the role of a dietitian 25%, but 75% is more of being a coach, being a cognitive behavior therapist, helping my patients actually build a habit because we all know what is good for us.
Mm.
The challenge is, why are we still not following it? Why are we not complying?
So how important in life
Yeah.
is habit?
Very much,
Mm.
very much. Discipline and habit, I think they're the key of anything. If you want to be successful, even if you don't have a simple habit, you are lost. Our mind and our body is so accustomed to follow a certain rhythm, certain patterns. And that is where having habits is very important. And building a new habit takes time. That's
Mm.
where you have to, make those patterns more consistent. So if you are brushing today and then you don't brush for 3 days and then you brush again, that's not a habit.
Mm.
So you have to make that consistency, keep going and keep doing that even when you are not feeling like
So
it.
now I hear so many theories that if you really want to form a new habit,
Yeah.
you have to do it for X number of days.
Yeah.
Do you have any number on that? Or?
Honestly, it depends on a human
Depends.
mind,
Okay.
honestly. But yes, typically 21 days, a minimum of 21 days is something that you want to keep doing it consistently is, I would say a ballpark.
So now, as we see that, you involved with Hindi Manch,
Yeah.
NutriAge, and,
Yes.
the coach, lifestyle
Correct.
coach.
Yeah.
What drives Sneh Jaisingh?
What drives? Just a curiosity in me, Bandaji.
Hmm.
I love to meet people, hear their story, take inspiration from every individual that I meet on how they transform their life. When I meet my patients, when I see them feeling empowered, making truly a difference in their life, because it's not only your life, it's it affects everybody around you, your loved ones, your family, your community. So when I see them feeling empowered, that just keeps me going. Just that dire desire to see people thrive is.
And when you are not working or doing any volunteer work,
Yeah.
how do you relax yourself?
So my daytime, I have two jobs. My
Mhm.
daytime job, as my professional world, and then I work for Hindi Manch
Mhm.
majority of my time. And during COVID, and again, as I said, I love both of this. Like
Mhm.
both of them are just very dear to me. And I do a lot of pro bono work also, where I help communities, underprivileged communities who just want some guidance with their health and they can't afford. I help them out a lot. During COVID, a dear friend of mine taught me the art of decoupage.
Mhm.
And that really helped me, especially during COVID, where I went through phases of anxiety. My parents back in India alone, and they were just uncertain times.
So what's called decoupage?
Decoupage. It's basically it's a very simple art where you transform, let's say, a glass surface or a wooden surface with those paper napkins you might have seen, the dinner napkins that has some patterns on it.
Mhm.
You transform that patterns into any surface.
Okay.
It's a very simple art, but it is very fulfilling and it really helps me just ground. If I'm thinking about something, it just helps me be more productive with my thought process as well. And I started teaching that for mental health awareness. So my husband and I, under NutriAge, we do a lot of mindfulness workshops as well. So decoupage is one of the art that we teach our community or patients, where they can just help. It helps them with just being a little bit more grounded, a little more balanced. Helps them with their anxiety. So that's something that I learned, and I see myself doing that a lot, like while watching TV or just sometimes in between work when I have a lot going on. You would find me doing that, a little bit of decoupage. I do that. I also recently learned about candle making, and it's very fascinating. I love that. So I love candles. So now to learn to make that on your own and gift it to friends is something that I do.
So what type of candles you make?
I'm just still learning. So
Okay.
there are different kinds of waxes, the soy wax candles, and using some aromatherapy, in fragrances in that, blending them, using some wildflowers and decorating them. You can even do decoupage with candles. So learning all of that stuff. But I'm not a very creative person.
I think you are very.
I
seems
try
like,
to.
yes, sure.
I'm learning. I'm trying to find that balance between the left and the right brain.
Hmm.
And I find myself leaning more towards being productive, being a better leader, and that's my comfort place.
So tell us, I think that you are a very creative person, but
Thank you.
so what is creativity? How do you define what?
So yes, that's a very good question, and I think that sometimes I put it as a very big umbrella that I'm not a creative person. You're very right, because I show my creativity in a very different forms. Like, I would create recipes that are very simple to make for younger generations, like, children who are in college and things like that. So I use my creativity there. But when I say that I'm not a creative person, I think I'm comparing myself with my husband or with my friends at Hindi Manch, who are just amazingly
So
creative.
now I have to ask
creative.
you about your husband. Tell,
Yes.
since his difference has come several times,
Yes.
who is he? I have done, interviews with him. I think during one of our health expo, he was also
Yes.
one of the
Correct.
speakers there.
Mhm.
But those of our viewers who may not be familiar with
Yeah.
him, tell about him.
My husband, where do I start from?
Okay.
He's an enigma.
Let's give you a hint. Go back to your childhood days.
So he is my friend. We are same age. He's 6 months older to me. So we studied together. We went to different schools and we pursued different professions. But we continued to, just be amazing friends, and that's what we continue to do. That him and I are very opposite person. He lives life a little more from a child's mind perspective. He's very creative. He's very childlike. He would crack a joke at every little thing, and he tells me that I don't have a funny bone in me, and I think we're just completely opposite. I need to have a plan. I need to have a structure. He's very spontaneous. He's very impromptu. So that's who Ajay is. Professionally, he does a lot of different roles that he plays. He works with corporate world into Salesforce. It's quite a lot into all of that. He is very passionate about theater. So
I've seen his.
He's done some amazing plays, and
great actor.
If I'm trying to be, I'm not trying to brag about him, but I'm his fan. There are very few actors in our community that I really, really love their performances. Ajay is one of them. So he's done some amazing roles, and he's got good opportunities. He recently even directed Begani Shadi Mein. He was co-directing it. So he's done that. He teaches a lot of mindfulness, meditation. So he's done that. I think Health Expo, he had done that. In fact, one of the Health Expo workshops, Ajay and I both had spoken about just mindfulness and lifestyle and all.
So what is one advice you will give it to him?
One advice I give it to him?
Yes.
Don't listen to your wife.
Okay.
Because I would try to put him in a structure. I would tell him no. So he would, Upinderji, he's a dreamer. He would talk about things that for my mind, I would just think that, why are you talking about all of this? This is not practical. So I think that he is just something that I just love and I can't be. Like, he would just talk about, let's go cross country tomorrow. And I would be like, how can you just think about going cross country without planning? So I think that is what it is, and I want to be like him. So that was my advice: that don't listen to me and be what you are.
So now, as we come closer to the end of the interview, a couple of things I want to ask you as well, since the event is happening on March 8th, honoring these outstanding women of the year. What is your take? If you look today at the world, not only just the Indian American community, where the power of women stands today. How do you look at their status today?
That's a beautiful
what needs to be done?
What needs to be done? I think that right now in our community, what I see is very powerful. I am someone who feels that when we talk about equality, where we say women's right and equality, we are living here. I feel that a woman alone can only go so much. There is a co-partner that you need, and I think that men and women being equal, being identified as equal individuals is very powerful, and our community is doing a fabulous job recognizing women, what you do, and creating this platform. Because when I got nominated, I asked Pritesh, I don't think that I'm doing anything extraordinary in Hindi Manch, that I should be acknowledged amongst these amazing, fabulous other women. And he told me that sometimes when we are doing a role for such a long time, we don't realize the impact that we are making.
Absolutely.
And not only that, we are also setting an example for the other women and other people around us that you can also achieve that. So I think that this just keep doing what we are doing, but at the same time acknowledging our counterparts, also the men who are fostering that for everyone. Like, I see that if it was not for Ajay's encouragement, it was not for other men in our community encouraging me to be who I am today, I wouldn't have been here. So just recognizing every individual for the effort and celebrating everyone together as a community, because I don't think that I did this alone. All of
Excellent.
us did that.
Sneh, thank you so much.
Thank you.